Muted. Welcome to the meeting of the Fairfield Representative Town Meeting on Monday, July 26, 2021. I'll ask that the clerk please do the roll call.
Ed Bateson.
Muted.
Here.
Veronica Monahan. Amy O'Shea. Here. Amy Ruggiero.
Here.
Bill Gerber. Karen McCormick.
Here.
Cindy Perham.
Here.
Jeff Steele. Alex Durrell.
Here. I hope you can hear me.
Matt Jacobs.
Here.
Scott Nickel.
Here.
Sharon Pastilli.
Here.
Laura Carson.
Here.
Alice Kelly.
Here.
Meredith Odenak.
Here.
Marcy Spalier. Will Diaz.
Here.
Josh Garskoff.
Here.
Joe Siebert.
Here.
Jay Walk.
Here.
Matt Ambrose. Hannah Gale. Here. Lisa Havey. Tamisha Powell Dunmore. Karen Bove. Mark McDermott.
Here.
Jill Vergara. Here. Karen Wackerman.
Here.
Hank Ferentz. Pamela Iacono.
Here.
Christine Messina.
Here.
Pete Tallman.
Here.
Drew Georgiadis.
Here.
Rick Grauer.
Here.
Chrissy
Hope you
Kelly.
can hear me.
Bill Perugini.
Here.
Elizabeth Altabelli. Peter Britton.
Here.
Kimberly Grant. And Frank Patisse.
Thank you.
Um,
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, Bill Gerber's here.
And Marcy Spalier, Betsy, she's not sure if you heard her. She's here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The next item is to the next item is to consider and act upon the minutes of the regular RTM meeting held on June 28, 2021. And I know Mr. Bateson had a correction.
Yes, thank you, Madam Moderator. Ed Bateson, District 1. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, item number 7, page 3. Ed Bateson, District 1 asked what the encumbered fund balance was. 12.4 million. That should read what the unencumbered fund balance was. I don't know if that's what I asked, but that 12.4 million is the unencumbered.
Okay.
So it should be changed from encumbered to unencumbered.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other, can I first, I should have said this first, can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Representative Nichols, seconded by Representative Siebert. So we have that change from Representative Bateson. Does anyone else have any comments or changes to the minutes? Okay, so we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. The motion passes. Next item is to hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Town Plan and Zoning Commission. Resolved that the Town of Fairfield abandon the remaining portion of the town-owned paper street known as Cherry Street, which intersects with Kings Highway, as shown on the attached map, reserving, however, an easement for a sewer, the location and dimensions of which shall be as determined by the town engineer, which easement shall be recorded on land records of the Town of Fairfield. Does anyone have a motion? Representative Vergara?
Yes, thank you, Madam Moderator. I'd like to make a motion to postpone this item for our next meeting, which is September 27th.
Okay, is there a second for that?
Yes, Representative Iacono, District 8.
Thank you, Representative. Is there any comment on this motion before we vote? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. That motion passes. Next item is to hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Finance. Resolved that the bond resolution entitled "A Resolution Appropriating $196,192 for the purchase and installation of fire station alerting and radio equipment to process voice and data for fire station notification of emergencies, and authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, be and hereby is approved." May I have a motion to approve this item? Representative McDermott, seconded by Representative Diaz. Chief McCarthy, would you like to address this item?
Yes, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you, Madam Moderator. Assistant Chief Eric Caliper and I are on the call, and we thank you for convening tonight so we're able to get this project before you and hopefully for approval. As you know, the Town of Fairfield, with our neighboring community of Westport, are building a joint communication center at Sacred Heart University. Part and parcel to that project and included in that budget is $259,000 for the backbone of a station alerting system that will serve both Westport Fire, Westport EMS, Fairfield Fire. This allows the dispatch center to communicate emergency calls to all of the fire stations and EMS units directly, and has built-in redundancy as required by the national standards. Anticipating this project was a portion of the radio project that has been stalled as we seek grant funding before we come before the boards and commissions for that project. Because that project has not gone forward, we were not able to complete the funding for the station resident equipment that we can't put in the communications project because those are funds, or those are expenses that we would not share with the Town of Westport. They will pay their own station resident for their own station resident equipment, and we would do the same. So we did have $250,000 in the radio project, which has been in the capital forecast for 5 years, but has yet to come before the boards and commissions for approval. Because the Regional Communication Center is moving forward certainly faster than the radio project, We need to bring this item for funding so that it will coincide with the radio project that is expected to come online in October. So all in all, the project was intended to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000. We'll come in under that, but come before you tonight for approval for $196,000 and $196,000 and change for approval, so we can complete our share of the project. With that, I will pause, and if you have any questions regarding the timing of the process, I'd be glad to answer that. And Chief Caliper is available if there are technical questions regarding the system.
Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions for Chief McCarthy or Mr. Caliper? Representative Bateson?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Moderator. Ed Bateson, District 1. Thanks, Chief, for giving us the presentation on this. Quick thing, I want to make sure I understand where the money was. From what you just said, was this in the 911 project, communication center project, and we took it out? Was there a line item budget in there for this?
So there was a line item in that budget for the backbone, which will be part of the 911 regional communication system. That is $259,000 that exists in that budget, and that is shared equally 50-50 with the town of Westport. The capital construction costs are all split evenly. Because this is this request was not part of that project. It was early in the development of the budget. It was determined that anything that is peculiar to the town of Fairfield, or conversely to the town of Westport, that is specific for their needs or our needs, would be paid for separately because it's not part of the infrastructure of the communication center. So this was part of the radio project from very early on in the radio project development.
Okay, and then you alluded to, is there something in your waterfall for this as well? I think you mentioned 250,000.
So there's $250,000 in the radio project, and we will back that number out of the radio project when that project moves forward for funding.
Okay, so you're getting whatever this dollar amount is. The 911 project, based upon what I'm hearing, should be $259,000 less, and we're going to be taking $250,000 off of your waterfall.
So there is $259,000 in the regional communication center budget. That's moving forward. That's already funded. It's being built. Out of the radio project waterfall budget, we will back out the $250,000 that was earmarked for what you're hopefully will be approving tonight, at $54,000 less than that number.
Okay, so there's no savings on the 911 project because we're paying for this, right? Is that what you're saying? I thought I heard there was going to be some savings, but it sounds like there isn't.
So the total cost of the project was just north of $500,000. We're coming in under that. Half of it is being funded jointly by the town of Fairfield and Westport in the 911 project, and that's $259,000. We had $250,000 in the radio project, and having gone through the bid, the competitive bidding for this, we're able to get our share, our station alerting, resident station alerting that will be equipment in the stations for $196,000. So we did come in less than what the waterfall number for this project included.
How much is the total project cost?
It's $500,000 roughly.
Okay, and we're paying for that. There's two pieces. One's in the 911 center appropriation, and this, right?
Correct. For which we are paying half of the $259. So $125,000, $130,000 out of that, and 196 for this portion of the project.
Okay, I get it now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Basis.
Are there any other questions for Chief Caliper and Chief McCarthy? I think not. Yep, I don't see anyone with their hand up. So thank you both very much for coming and presenting. We'll now turn to the vote if there's no more questions. So everyone please unmute. All in favor of approving this resolution, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you very much.
Chief.
Have a good night.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. The next item is to hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Finance. Resolved that as part of the Bigelow Center for Senior Activities 5-year bus replacement plan, funds be and hereby are expended in the amount of $67,000 to purchase a handicapped accessible 9-seat bus with a wheelchair lift to improve mobility for seniors and individuals with disabilities. 100% of said purchase to be funded by a traditional 5310 capital senior bus grant under Section 5310 of the Federal Transit Act's Enhanced Mobility of Seniors and Individuals with Disabilities Program as administered by the state of Connecticut. And further resolved that First Selectwoman Brenda L. Kupchak is authorized to make, execute, and approve on behalf of the town of Fairfield any and all contracts or amendments thereof to secure said grant. Can I have a motion to approve this resolution? Representative Bateson, seconded by Representative Gale. Is there any discussion? Oh, actually, first let's ask Ms. DeMarco, sorry. Are you here with us tonight?
I am.
To explain this? Hi, how are you?
Great. How you doing?
Good. So if you could just give us a little thumbnail about this.
I'd love to. So this is the next in our bus replacement series. Every 2 years, the state of Connecticut allows us to apply for a grant to replace a bus. And this would replace a 2011 natural gas powered bus that is out its useful life. And we currently have a fleet of 5 buses at any given time. This bus we are not using right now because the town no longer has a natural gas pump. And it's also very inefficient. So that's the bus we're replacing. And when we do replace a bus, that goes up for auction to the municipal site, and whatever money we get for it goes into the general fund. So the great thing about this grant is typically the grant % of the bus, and we cover 20% out of our donations account. This year, they are covering 100% of the bus. We're applying for $67,000, of which covers the cost of a 9-seater bus rather than a 13-seater. Both, you know, it'll still have 2 wheelchairs and still have a lift for access. But we're trying a smaller bus because all of our buses are 13, and at times we don't need to fill up the entire bus. So we figured a smaller bus to try and see how much use we have and how much of a need. It's 30% more efficient because of its size. I think that might be it on the bus. Yeah. And I know that often you're curious about whether or not there's an energy efficient vehicle or some kind of hybrid that's available, and that's not ready yet for us to bid on it. With any luck, we're hoping for the next bus will be, the bus company will have more options for efficient vehicles. It's just not this year. Love to take any of your questions.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions on this item? Don't think there are. No, I don't see any. So let's just move to the vote. All in favor of this passing this resolution, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. The motion passes unanimously. Thanks for coming and speaking with us, Julie. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. The last item on our agenda is the first time you're having before you a proposed changes to the Harbor Management Commission ordinance. And I am hoping that someone will waive the reading. The ordinance is fully set out in the agenda if the public would like to read it. Representative Vergara.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading.
Second.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Pam, and thanks very much. So this will come before us in September. We always have to read or present the ordinance 1 month, and then we'll vote the following meeting. So that's it for tonight. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Representative Perham, seconded by Representative Pistilli. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all for taking the time when we thought we wouldn't have a July meeting, but I think these were important matters. So thanks very much for coming, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
We're not dialing
Thank you.
into committee meetings.
Take care, everyone.
No committee
Right,
meetings.
No committee meetings.
Okay,
No.
Thank you.
thanks.
Enjoy. Enjoy.
Okay.
Happy summer.
Thank you.
Good night,
Stay
everyone.
safe.
Soon. Everybody.
Karen.
Get home safe.
Good
Night time, boys.
Night, Jim Bob.